Okay, so today's video, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing a comparison video and a bit of an upgrade from my personal rig over here, which I'll put a link to this on what this is. My i7 8700K, my Asus Strix 2080, and my Fractal Meshify C case, along with 16 gigs of DDR4 Corsair Vengeance Pro RGB RAM, blah, 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 whatever that is. Okay, so my normal cooler that I've been using has actually been this Be Quiet one right over here, the one on the left. The Be Quiet that I've been using is the Shadow Rock Slim Silent Wings 160 watt TDP. I've been using this cooler for a while now. It's actually run pretty good, but I need something a little more. I have found that at my 5 gigahertz overclock, and when I'm doing some video editing and some other things, that does tend to get a little warm. And I'm not getting thermal throttling, but I really don't want that type of heat running through my CPU, so I just want to cool it down a little bit. So, and I also want to see what other overclocks I could get. This CPU that I have, I guess I won the silicone lottery with it, clocks at 5 gigahertz with no issues. I mean, I've never had a hiccup on it or anything like that, so CPU runs real great. Want to see if we can maybe push a little more. Probably wishful thinking, but, you know, doesn't hurt to try. So what I decided to do was I looked up, and I've really been a fan of these Be Quiet CPU coolers. They've been great. They've been quiet. Get the name, quiet. And, you know, these fans have been pretty good, and this thing has actually been a beast, even with 160 watts TDP, keeping my CPU nice and cool at the 5 gigahertz overclock. But I want to go something a little beefier. Not only that, but I'm also big into the little aesthetic things. I thought about going CPU water cooling and the AIO and all that stuff, but I'm not a big fan of them. You know, just personal preference, nothing against them. With this, the only thing I really didn't like about this, really, besides the fact that I wish it did cool a little better, is the silver. I have an all black and blue theme on it. The silver just kind of sticks out a little bit, so I'm not a huge fan of it. So decided to go with this one. One with the Be Quiet Dark Rock Pro 4, 250 watts. And this thing is huge. I mean, just look at this thing. I mean, it is huge. The box is huge. Everything is huge about it. And the coolest thing I like about Be Quiet, they give you their cool screwdriver, which I like. I think it's a real cool screwdriver. So that's probably the best thing. Maybe that's why I spend the $90 just to get the screwdriver. Don't know, but we'll see. Hopefully that's not the reason why, and I don't gain any performance out of it. But back to this. So one of the questions that I've always learned, well, not learned, one of the questions I get asked a few times by people that I build computers for is, what is TDP, and what does, if I get a CPU cooler with more TDP, am I going to get better performance? Am I going to get better cooling? Yeah, blah, 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 blah. Well, to reflect, TDP stands for thermal design power, or depending on who you ask, thermal design profile. The TDP tells you the maximum heat a computer chip, such as a CPU or GPU, can use in watts. It is also used as a basic indicator of power consumption, and that's straight off of Tom's Hardware. So pretty much if the CPU is designed to run at a certain TDP, you're going to need a CPU fan that's equivalent to help cool it off. I believe the FX 9320, 9350, don't quote me on it, had a 220 watt TDP. So this 160 watt would not cut it. And this 250 watt would probably just enough cut it on it. So now when you get these CPU coolers and they have a higher TDP, one thing you're going to get is that they're going to be bigger, they're going to have more fins, they're going to have more spacing between the fins. Like if you look at this one, these are kind of thin more together. These have spaced out a little more. I don't know if the camera's picking that up. Another thing that you're going to get is the amount of heat pipes you get. Now this one, we get 7 heat pipes. On the Silent Wings, we get 1, 2, 3, we get 4 heat pipes. So automatically, because this is supposed to have a higher TDP, you're going to get more heat pipes, you're going to get more fin density, they're going to be more spread out. And this one actually comes with 2 fans, this only has 1 fan. So if you go for a CPU cooler with a higher TDP, you're going to get better overclocks, number one. And yeah, that's about it. You're just going to get better overclocks, in my opinion. I mean, you won't get no thermal throttling, hopefully, depending on how much you want to put for it. So it's just my opinion. I'm not no rocket surgeon, no rocket science, but I'm sure there's somebody who can explain it better. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this one, my Silent Wings, we're going to pop it back into my i7 8700K. First thermal paste we're going to be using is my Thermal Grizzly. Cryonaut runs great, been using that for a while. We're going to pop it in. I just took this off so we could kind of just see and compare these two CPUs CPU coolers side by side, so we can see the difference over here. And as you can see, this one's massive compared to this one. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to pop it in, put fresh thermal paste in there, and we're going to be using Cinebench R20 along with hardware info just so we can monitor what the heat is. And we'll do a test for this one. we'll do a test for that one. I am going to put the side glass panel on it to kind of give it a real world simulation of how most people are going to be using it in their computers. Even though the Meshify C, in my opinion, has great airflow with the mesh in the front, mesh up here, just mesh everywhere. I mean, ideally I just want to see, how it would perform in this case and kind of give you an idea if anybody who does have this case or a case similar to it with good airflow, how these two would perform in comparison. All right, so we're going to go ahead. We're going to pop that one in, my Be Quiet Silent Wings. I'm going to pop it right into there. So we're going to do it right now in 3, 2, 1. All right, so we got our CPU cooler installed. It's the Be Quiet Shadow Rock Slim Silent Wing CPU cooler, 160 watt TDP. Go ahead and get you an image of in there, how it looks and everything. Just don't mind the reflection and all that good jazz. So we got that installed. We're going to be running Cinebench R20 test along with using CPU ID hardware monitor to kind of see where our temperatures are. So as you can see, this is where our temperatures are kind of sitting right now. We're going to go ahead and clear the minimum max. So they're around anywhere from, let's say just say 25 degrees Celsius. So let's go ahead and run this test. Put a nice load on the CPU. All right. See where CPU temperature starts spiking up. 79s, hitting 80s, 83s. Let's watch it go up some more and more. 85. So I'm gonna let this test run. We'll come right back when it's done and we'll see where I max out. All right, so the test is wrapping up. Test is now complete. And as you can see, our highest temperature that we reached was 92 degrees Celsius. So ran pretty warm for the 160 watt TDP. So now what we're going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and we're going to pop in our Dark Rock Pro CPU cooler, which we have over here. And we'll do another baseline, see what it is at stock, and then go ahead and run the Cinebench R20 and compare the results. All right, so the Be Quiet Dark Rock Pro is installed. You can see right there. Don't mind the glare. We're already going ahead. We're running the Cinebench. I've already had it started, and we can already start and see over here that our temps are sitting around 85. This test is just about done, so we should get an idea of where we're at. Right now, I can say that the temperatures are looking a lot better, and it is completing. And you can see we're keeping our 5 gigahertz overclock. The test just completed, and as we can see, we're down to 85 degrees Celsius. So from going from 4 heat pipes to 7 heat pipes to a higher TDP, we lowered our temperatures about 7 degrees. So not too bad, pretty decent. So overall, what can I say about the Be Quiet Dark Rock 4? Number one, it is a pain in the butt to install. I mean, it is completely horrible to install, and I'm just going to demonstrate that right over here. Let's get this thing out over here. Take this one off, this panel. Hopefully this thing don't fall and get destroyed on me. There we go. Let me get this panel off right over here. Pop that right over here. Yeah, this thing is a pain in the butt to install if you're mounting it inside the case. In this situation, I didn't want to take this case apart because this computer is actually getting a new home. So stay tuned for that video. This computer is getting a brand new home, and I'm going to be putting it in a totally different case. And if you're subscribed, you'll see what that case is, and we'll be doing a review on that case. But yeah, if you got to install this in the motherboard, on the motherboard inside this case, it is a pain in the butt to do. There's no space, and especially that this Meshify C case is real tight, makes it real hard to do. So that's one thing, not a huge fan of, but it's okay. Once I do the swap, I should have no issues. Another thing too, as you can see, it hides my memory. So my Vengeance Pro RGB memory, can't see it from over here. So no big deal. The other case that I do have for this has a little bit more RGB bling, and besides where I put it in my house, you really don't see the RGB, so it's kind of a waste. But anyways, so yeah, overall this thing works great. I mean, the fans didn't ramp up that high. The noise level was actually a lot lower. I wish I would have done some more fantastic testing on that. But yeah, the overall great cooler, and as we can see that, yeah, more, a CPU cooler with high TDP is going to give you more lower temperatures as long as it has beefier fins, better fan cooling. I mean, yeah, this has one fan, this has two fans, but I guess the package as a whole is what's actually going to contribute to giving the low cooling. So overall, not too bad of a fan. Really like it, really enjoy it, and look forward to putting it into my next system over here. So comment below, let me know what you think. Comments, inputs, concerns, things you like, didn't like. I just want to hear your input about it and just about my little test of it did over here. Like I said, we got a 7 degree improvement, which, I mean, it's not all that great. I mean, if you think about it, that cooler right now goes for about, the Silent Wing goes for about $30. This is about $90, so is the price of performance there? But I'm at a 5 gigahertz overclock. We pushed the heck out of this thing, and as you can see, the temperature is sitting at 85. So what are the variables? Don't know. Have to figure that out. Could I apply the thermal paste different? I mean, there's so many different things, but I mean, hey, it is what it is. So like I said, subscribe, stay tuned so you can see the next case that this computer is actually going into, some other projects. And if you're watching this video and you stay tuned to the end, we do have a mystery project that we're actually getting ready to do. Let's just say that it came from China. So if you really want to find out what came from China, what we're going to be doing, subscribe, and we'll be getting to that video shortly. So thanks for watching.